restraining the national PDP from suspending the executives of the PDP in the state. And I did like I was interested, so I did a quick googling. I did like what I saw at the time, and I did a quick googling so I could get more information. And then I saw the report on the Nigerian Tribune where it says court stops PDP from dissolving Rivers State chapter executives, and it's basically because the National is accusing the PDP in Rivers State of playing anti-party politics. Now, in the judgment delivered on Wednesday, yesterday, by Justice Ian Eko, the judge said, just give me a minute, that the plaintiff, Mr. Desmond Akawo, succeeded on merit. Akawo, the Rivers State PDP chairman, had sued the party and its immediate past national chairman, Dr. Yocha Ayu, representing himself and members of the National Working Committee and National Executive Committee as first and second defendants. Okay, now, according to, I'm looking forward, the judge was given, now he said, essentially, the first and second defendants have admitted the case of the plaintiff on the issue. The law is that facts admitted need to further proof, he said, and granted all the relief sought by Akawo, declared that the party and its national chairman cannot unilaterally and without reasonable cause dissolve the state executive committees or the committee who were democratically elected for a 4-year period. However, I began to think the party has got a constitution, right? And I also remembered that there was a ruling that said the party must follow its constitution. And that's why I have Sydney Tambari Gbara in the studio, PDP Rivers State Publicity Secretary, and we're going to have a robust conversation. Welcome, greetings to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening, Rivers State.
So, like I was saying, you have a constitution.
Yes.
Your constitution is sacrosanct when it comes to PDP members.
Of course.
If someone errs or flouts the laws in that constitution, is punished according to the constitution.
Of course.
So, what punishments, or first of all, even before we go into punishment, how does the PDP define anti-party politics? Let's start from there.
Okay, well, in the first place, I would like to thank you for having me here.
Okay.
And when we say PDP, it's like it's a general term, among all the political parties. Party politics is all about loyalty and following the ideology of the party. Yes, and anti-party will be when that is not done.
When you do not follow the tenets, yes, the ideology of the party.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you would know that this case started from when the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, decided that he was not going to support the candidacy of Atiku Abubakar. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's the general insinuation, but we can't say there was anywhere in the public forum when he came out to say that he was not going to do that.
No, but he has said it. I mean, recently he has claimed that I did not support and I'm not afraid of anybody. I mean, on several occasions, on 2 or 3 occasions on Channels TV, that I did not support Atiku and nobody's going to do anything about that.
No, what he said was nobody was going to suspend him. He was talking about suspension.
Yeah.
That nobody has the powers to suspend him.
Okay.
That was what he was talking about.
So are you now saying that the governor did not work against Atiku?
Well, this is politics. And on the day of the election, I was in my unit casting my vote.
All right.
While he was in his unit casting his vote.
Okay.
And what we have in Nigeria is secret
balloting.
Open
secret balloting, yeah.
Wherever he may have casted his votes and wherever I have done mine is our privacy and to our own knowledge and for whatever reason the way we have done it. So I cannot sit down here to say that he never supported Atiku Abubakar or whether he supported
No. He said, and I don't want this to be an argument. I mean, the G5, for instance, at the time, even Fayose, the former governor of Ekiti State, has also come out to say that they did not support and they still will not support Atiku if the elections were to be done again. And it is because Atiku, Iyorchia Ayu, broke the, what's it called now? Broke the gentleman's agreement, to zone it to the south. And that's been the song that the former governor has always sung for a while now. So I'm wondering where your current explanation is coming from.
Yeah, well, you see, for this whole thing, a lot had gone down and a lot has happened within the period. And I'm very happy somehow you abreast with the fact that this whole thing started with the whole zoning issue. And you see, sometimes when you are in the midst of people and, you don't have an opportunity or you're not allowed to express, yourself, you are not allowed, your voice cannot be heard, you're just like a minority and you're pushed to the wall, it must come to a point where as a person or as a human being, you have to maybe think back and look for a way, think out of your own box, and see how, you can get around things or whatever that situation was. So the issue of the zoning was something that was unilaterally agreed upon, that the next presidency should come from the south.
Okay.
Based on how we have it in our constitution. It was all agreed. And that's the reason why some persons like our leader, Yeso Wike, decided to, go into the context. We had some other governors, some other persons from the south. It was believed and generally understood that as it happens, not that maybe those from the northern part will not contest like it used to be, but at the end of the day, let there be that agreement and understanding that having had the ATA straight tenor in the north, let it shift.
Was zoning is zoning rather in the PDP's constitution?
Yes,
it is in the PDP.
Yes, it is. Even up to the local level, like wards and all that. There is zoning, because in a way we use it to minimize agitations. Just like we have in this building. If these people have produced, let the other people to equally have a shot at it, so that they will have that sense of belonging.
Okay, all right. Now, why I brought up this conversation was I wanted you to help me define anti-party, because that's one of the reason why they want to remove the ESCO, which you are a part of in Rivers State. And like I said, even the former governor went to court at some point to stop the PDP from suspending him, because he also had been accused of anti-party activities. Right now is a minister in the APC-led government, even though the PDP at the national is in court, still fighting for the mandate, for the according, how do they want to collect the mandate back, so they say, that's what you politicians call it.
Yes.
So the question then is, do you think that the PDP, led by Nyesom Wike, played anti-party politics during the elections?
No, we didn't. And I have my reasons.
And what's your argument?
Yes, my argument is this. You see, there's this simple saying that when the center cannot hold, things fall apart.
True.
Before we will talk about the activities of PDP Rivers State, going to anti-party or not, which I know we never did, we equally will recall that this same Rivers State PDP chapter was in court with some other political parties who we felt didn't, obey,
do the right thing,
in their primaries, and the same National Working Committee, through the national chairman, came into our own state in Rivers State here, took over all the cases, and withdrew from them. And this is politics. In whichever way you can defeat me, as long as it's not violent, you can employ it. whatever strategy you can use to defeat me, you can employ it as long as it's not violent. And a situation where a state chapter, has one of their strategies before election to see how they can reduce maybe the number of those who need to contend with. Not that we're afraid, but it's politics.
It's politics, yeah.
And the national body will come in, take over those cases, and then withdraw. What does that mean? What do you call that?
Now, you've said it's politics, but I like to think, because political scientists will say that the party is supreme. So
Yes.
irrespective of the flaws, should you not still follow the guidelines of the party pending when you are able to resolve all the matters that are affecting the party?
At a point when who is a leader, what is the primary function of a leader? It's coordination, putting things together.
Okay.
Ensuring that everything flows the way it's supposed to be. Even if there are hitches here and there in maybe one or two areas, within the confines of those you lead, your responsibility is to ensure that you put everybody together and be the one that will preach in the peace. And you shouldn't be a catalyst to disaffection or issues. You shouldn't be the one that will bring issues, because if you are the one that is forced throwing the stone when you're living in a glass house, then the other person will call it, you are setting a wrong precedent.
All right.
As a leader.
Let me pause you now. We've got to go for a commercial break, please.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this.
Nigeria Info.
And yes, you're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kala Dakurubatipo, and I've got Gbara, the Rivers State Chapter of the PDP's Publicity Secretary, in the studio, and we've been talking anti-party and all of this stuff because there was a court judgment yesterday restraining the national arm of the party, or the national tie of the party, from suspending the Excos here in Rivers State. All right, so welcome back, Sydney. Back to what you and I were saying before the break. Do you think you committed anti-party crime? You know, you played anti-party during the elections?
Not at all.
And you were giving me your reasons. Can you explain or expatiate further?
Yeah, what I was saying is, before the National Working Committee will even kill of anti-party, that you recall that some time ago, before the general election, that our party took some other political parties who we saw that did not, go through the prescribed procedures for primaries by the INEC. And the same national executive, through the national legal advisor, came to our state, not even informing the state chairman of the party of this chapter, went straight to court, took over all the cases, and by constitution, it's very possible that can happen. And we felt maybe our big brothers were coming to give us a helping hand. And the next thing we saw was the same national legal advisor withdrawing from all the cases. What does that tell you?
So let's bring it to Rivers State now. Let's say some strong member of the party in Rivers State during the election decided not to support Siminalayi Fubara's governorship aspiration. Would that have been seen as anti-party? And if he said, it's not the time of the Opobos, for instance, would that have been seen as anti-party?
Well, it all depends on the circumstances, it depends on the scenario, and it depends on the disposition of these party members.
Okay.
So it all depends. So that is the only yardsticks which one can, authoritatively judge to say, yes, this person did this person did that. But the situation, like in this state, why I said it depends on the circumstances and the situation. In Rivers State, usually after every primaries, there are always this bad blood here and there. It's supposed to be me. It's not supposed to be me. And we saw it play out.
Is that not what played out at the national? It's supposed to be me. It's
not supposed to be me. But it's not the same. Like in Rivers State, we had every of us who came together and said, okay. Some said, okay, no problem. Be it as it may, we have a candidate. I dropped my interest and I'm giving my full support.
Now, it comes back to the question I asked earlier. The party is sacrosanct, right? So why did we not see this play out at the national, especially from the Rivers part of it?
The avenue was not open for that to work out. We saw the integrity group, then later the G5 governors, and they were agitating on just one thing. Do you understand me? That's why I started by saying, what is the job or what is the primary responsibility of a leader? A leader shouldn't be the catalyst to disaffection, in a body or a house where you are the one leading. The leader's responsibility, as a leader, you're like a dustbin. Everybody will throw all manner of tantrums and you, whether right or wrong, positive or negative. Your own is to absorb it, harness, and make sure you keep people together. But we didn't see that play out at the national. We rather saw where the national were issuing threats at us at the state chapter.
All right.
Issuing threats and saying all manner of things, how they were going to do this, how this was going to happen. So there wasn't any avenue for a truce. Do you understand? Okay, let's sit down. The avenue, there were openings all over. Time passed. But we saw.
So when you say truce, did Desmond Akawo was the is it the chairman?
State chairman,
the chairman in the state is okay. Did he reach out? Did he try? Okay, you have withdrawn these cases. You are attempting to suspend us. Can we shake hands? Or did he take sides? Did the Rivers Exco in the PDP take sides?
Take sides how?
It was, according to what we saw in the news, a running battle between the camp of Wike and the camp of Atiku. So did he take sides, or did he reach out to
when he said take sides, it's as if there were factions in our PDP in Rivers. There weren't factions. We have one leader and one PDP leadership in Rivers State, which is...
I'm talking about the national now.
I don't know.
You said they came to Rivers State,
yes,
withdrew cases,
yes,
and they attempted to suspend the executive committee of the party. And I'm asking, and I'm saying, at that time, did the chairman in Rivers State reach out to the national, to see, because you mentioned truce just yes. now, did he reach out, or did he take sides? Did the SO committee or the executive committee at the garden sides in this very matter between nationals?
That's what I have to explain to you. The same like co of EPP, up there talking with them and doing the reacts, but no truth was given for people to see that, because politics is all about disagreeing to agree. Sure. Sometimes when you disagree, it's even because you're able to throw out that your bring my argument, and we see who has the more superior argument. And at the end of the day, if it's a common goal, on interest, it's that I have a better argument in mind. I'm able to equally mine. Do you understand? Yeah. I can follow. There are some things you will bend for me too, but in this area there was no such thing. So was outright agonism. Like it was just out.
Because you just read, you just said Rivers State was out. Going forward, yes, past structures in the state and what levels are given some autonomy to their structures and themselves and all of that. When it comes to the party, comes from the national. For instance, from the report I read, your committee, the executive committee, will end its tenure by next year, 24. All right, so that's your 4-year term, and it will be a new Congress
and convention. The internal is called convention. Okay. The state is called Congress.
The people who will pretend over the convention or Congress will come in. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
So how would the PD, because it looks like a divide now, you guys are going to court having restraining orders against, it looks like man and wife fighting, each other. How does the Rivers PDP survive if it does not shake hands with the people at the national? So is it that you guys are not thinking of moving to another party, forming another party? Is PDP no longer going to be in Rivers State, or are we going to have the new PDP like we had some other time? What is the political situation?
Well, the issue in contention now is securing our tenure period. That is what we are interested in. Okay. And that's what we are fighting to ensure that we secure our tenure period. Okay. What happens after that is another bridge, and when we get there, we'll cross it. Let's cross the bridge now. Remember before, there have been a lot of insinuations. People thought they were going to meet hurdles that was going to be challenging. For by the grace of God, we have overcome all of them. So we'll get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But I really want to make a point very, very clear. Yeah. Something our leader had always made known to over and over and over. I will use this opportunity to clear this, saying that at time, PDP Rivers State, the leader of PDP Rivers State, contacted living people. But it's okay. You didn't. Contemplate PDP to APC. That is always the general insinuation, because they feel, for you to take this step, that means at the end of the day, this is what you want to do. But some of those things all happen where, like, maybe try to express grievances and to see if that will be able to be lead, us sitting down assembly to talk about some of the issues, resolve it, and then move on. So others, maybe insinuating, expecting, or waiting to say, we are leaving to AP. Sorry, supported, because that's what will happen.
I have so many questions not to be enough. But this is it now. Similar about the governor of Rivers State is the deputy or the vice chairman of the DP Governors Forum. Yes, last on Friday, to be precise, he traveled in company of traditional rulers and some stakeholders in Rivers State. He pledged some kind of allegiance, or what I call loyalty or support is the right word, to the Tinubu administration. I remember saying at the beginning of that Gbara is the presidential candidate of the DP, and he is both from the bullet and from statement of similar life, who I can say at this point is like, should I say the deputy lead party? You say your guy is Yamike, so I would believe he is in the next. Saying, I'm going to support your government pending the Supreme Court judgment, right? So does that not in itself, is it not a bold statement that there is some crack, and it's most likely the APC that will be the next turn for members of the Rivers PDP right now?
Well, in the first place, we didn't expect His Excellency Saswina to preempt what the Supreme Court outcome of the Supreme Court was going to be. Yeah, that is number one. Number two, remember, politics is different from governance. Okay, the type politics is over. After election, politics is over, and what we come to see, or what will come to be, is governance. Okay, and ordinarily, how it's supposed to be is when a political party emerges as winner, either in states at the government level or at national level, you form what is kind of unity government. In other African countries, we used to see where two giant political parties will long call for general election. And when one political becomes president, they appoint maybe the leader of the other political party as the prime minister or whatever, maybe they, in position, and they run the government. So our people sometimes are always reluctant to embrace or accept a new thing without giving the chance to see where is the direction or what will be outcome or what will be the benefits of this. That was a visit by Rivers. All right. So I would say thank you for appointing our sons. Just one now. We have the Minister of FC. We have a member of the North East Development and Development Board as a Rivers son. We have the EJ of NDDC, and we have the reps. DDC, all appointed by President Asiwaju within this short period of time.
Yeah.
And our people felt no. You know, the way you get more from it is to thank. Say, let us make him and thank him. What he has done so far. The Minister of Works at the element access is yeah. So I see what I'm telling you. So the PDP Rivers State is doing. It's very simple.
Now can I pause you? I like your explanation. And well, set different moments, but can you be extra politics from in the situation? Now, again, I say support will get started almost now, no, like and is the Vice Chairman PDP's forum, PDP Governors Forum, should not have been very what's the word now? Conscious in the PDP Governors Forum and getting the and yet again, because of the way we play politics in Nigeria, is this not a statement that there is some kind of crack between the National and the Rivers PDP?
No, to me, the way I see it, no, because it wouldn't for now. Prince Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, okay. And not until any other thing or otherwise. Do you understand me? So you have to give me best. You have to give it. So for me, our governors a patriotic statement, a statement that came from a patriotic Nigeria, okay. You know, who is ready to be his best, so that not only the state gets the best, the federal gets the best, but the overall interest, of all Nigerians.
No, I need to use lines, but issues that when you get to the or Rivers State to the bridge, they'll cross it, because it's a similar thing that is happening in the APC. Similarly, for Gbara report from the National, how do you go back second and that's where the question of, are we going to have a new party? Are we going to see the PDP exist in Rivers? Are we going to see the PDP members move to the PDP party of them? And that's what I'm trying to ask you.
Yeah, you media, or will I say the press, you always base your things on focus and assumptions.
Okay.
This is just maybe the feelings of the thinking of some quarters. Okay. You understand? And I know that, taking us backwards a bit, the PDP chairman of PDP Governors Forum equally, made a statement that the party is on the pathway of reconciliation, trying everybody back up. And I believe that is what is doing right now. And in politics, we say 24 hours is such a long time for us to see a new thing happen. So we are positive, and we know that maybe any moment from now, the PDP will come back together as a family and work together ahead. Before by the time we get to that beach, cross it. Maybe by the time we get to that point, there wouldn't be any point to be together, bury our hatchets, and then working together as a people.
All right, this one is from Jackson Mabai. Gbara is the leader of PDP Rivers State as a governor, while Wike is the deputy and advisor. Is that true? Gbara says, you can have it your way. All right, let's move on. This one says, good evening. Please ask Mr. Sidney the following questions. If he claims that the PDP in the state didn't play at anti-party activities, is he saying that Wike didn't openly support Tinubu 1? Is he saying that Wike didn't order the 23 local governments to deliver Tinubu 2? Is he saying that Wike didn't take Atiku to court, praying the court to disqualify Atiku and make him the candidate in a suit marked, you called the name of the suit, or you gave the mark? And you said, didn't Wike gather D5 governors against Atiku's ambition and also the national leadership? I want your guests to deny that Wike didn't see or set the stage for Tinubu president rally in Port Harcourt. Will your guests deny the unholy bromance between Tinubu and Wike? Didn't Wike stop the PDP campaign rally? Didn't they go on to seal up the venue for the campaign rally of Atiku in Rivers State? Isn't that anti-party? Someone is asking.
Well, most of those things that our brother have put up misconstrued. I can't really place all of them, but let me start from the venue. Are you with me? Let me start. We all know that the Azimka Stadium was given out for Tiku campaign. Okay. But for some reasons, didn't turn up to use it. I can't speak for them. I don't know what happened. But I know that the former governor of Rivers State went there to say, okay, this place have been given out for the campaign. So, but whatever happened, I don't know. There was no time to air to say no. Don't give them any.
But I remember vividly, it was a cumbersome process. Them getting approval for.
At the end of the day, the place was approved.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. At the end of the place was approved for some reasons. We didn't say them. Let me tell you, there's some things. There's some basic facts we need to know about getting them. Can you?
It's all like it's not time for politics.
Yeah,
but see, you're talking about your party in this manner, and you're saying your party cannot fill the stadium. It's not the problem, and that's why I say back. But you say there is no.
What does one PDP? I feel the same. But where are the PDP members now? We really can feel it.
You're not carried along. You're not carried along.
Yeah, when you assume you're doing something else out of us, then okay, no problem. Where are you going to get people?
All right, let's quickly take it. 1 or 2 calls. 0817-923-0002. And 0817-923-0003. And let's quickly take 1 or 2 calls before the next stop set, where we would have to say our goodbyes, at least for the now, up until open season. I've got Ida from Nkoro. Ida, greetings to you. Welcome. What's on your mind? Quickly, please. Hello. Hello, can you?
I'm going to say that PDP did not play anti-party. I'm from Nkoro, which after all the members, able to vote for Amici, to vote for Atiku. Atiku played a party. It's not going to campaign. I want to support our papa to go. It's not anti-party.
All right.
And we want to go for minister, a right board chairman, governor, the minister.
All right.
Anti-party.
Thank you very much. Clinton from Bori, come. What's on your mind, please?
Good evening, Kala.
Yeah, quickly, please.
Good evening to your guest.
Good evening, my bro.
We have a conviction, and Dr. Sidney is very political in his last institution there.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor, please.
Politics, these and guns are two different things. What I even say at the members, they are able to say university, this is a river state with the process. Now, that being said, I'm saying that they need the anti-party. But I'm telling you that what they did, was the anti-party, and we know that they are moving to APC, and we are there to receive them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Clinton. I've got good luck from your LDA. Good, quickly, commercial break. Come quickly, please. Hello,
yes,
good.
You said the not planned. Then we didn't go to the weekend supported him. He went to the radio station.
Right.
So this is just something partly about that weekend supported Tinubu and the party member to vote during the election.
All right.
So what is it?
All right. Thank you. Look, everybody seems to disagree with you, but we're out of time. So quickly, what is your final word?
My final word is this. Very simple. PDP Rivers State. We are formidable. We are together, and we are open. For
new members.
Of course, we've been harvesting members. I wouldn't want to use the word we are tired of harvesting members. We've been harvesting members in this state. I saw what I've been happening.
I've not seen.
I'm
not a politician.
No. What I was trying to say is that we are very free and we are very open. To extend our hands of fellowship to our national.
Oh, okay.
Body. That's what I'm trying to say, because when we are together, a house that is united is a force, and we can.
And you're not going to the APC?
We are not going to the APC.
Okay.
We're not going to the APC.
Thank you very much, Sidney Gbara, Publicity Secretary, Rivers PDP. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, my brother. Anytime.
All right. So we'll continue the conversation, the open season. For now, commercial break, and after that, station. I am Kala Rubato.